But first, thousands of protesters who've again marched in protest against the Burmese military regime have been threatened with extreme action if they don't disperse. Latest reports out of Rangoon say scores of people have been arrested and thrown into military trucks. Earlier, soldiers and police fired warning shots at protesters gathered in the city for a 10th day. At least 3 monks were killed in yesterday's big protest. Overnight, troops raided several monasteries, arresting about 100 monks, and later took 2 pro-democracy activists into custody.
As they have for the past 10 days, the crowds are gathering once again, but in much smaller numbers. A wave of arrests overnight has seen to that. After raids on monasteries today, just dozens of monks are among the 10,000 who've turned out. It's a far cry from yesterday, when police and troops launched their crackdown. These pictures capture the panic of the moment. Bullets at first are fired into the air, then a round of tear gas to push the protesters back. A witness who doesn't want to be shown describes how the police soon piled in.
They were rounded up and charged with vengeance by the police. The monks responded merely by reciting prayers. People fled from the scene. About 30 monks were badly hurt and hospitalized.
A Burmese doctor who contacted SBS by email says he was on duty when the injured started pouring in. One person died in front of him, and 4 others, he says, are in a critical condition. This monk was one of the lucky ones. While this student was overcome by tear gas, the violence has only fueled their anger. They've hit my head and I'll never forget it, says this monk. The euphoria of the past week has been replaced by anger. This man vents his fury on a motorbike which he thinks belongs to a police spy. The clashes may have taken a heavy toll, but some refuse to give up. This activist was only released from jail early this year, but he's ready to risk all again. I'm doing it for democracy, he says. Within the last hour, the 10,000 protesters who've gathered today were given an ultimatum to disperse or face extreme action. A short time ago, shots were fired and more than 100 protesters were arrested. Ashley Neame, World News Australia.
Well, joining me from Chiang Mai is Ong Zaw, the editor of the Irrawaddy magazine, which covers events in Burma from Thailand. Thank you very much for your time. We've just heard about threats from the military of extreme action. Now, bearing in mind, of course, you're across the border from Burma, what are you hearing?
Well, I just received a fresh report, very, very disturbing news coming out of Burma that the troops started fire on crowds and demonstrators in front of City Hall, Suli Pagoda, and where large demonstrators took to the streets since the morning, about 10,000 people, I believe. And according to the eyewitness report, I just received it, about 10 people fall on the ground, including a foreigner. And his body was taken by the military, I was told. I could not confirm that whether this is a foreigner or not, but there are about 10 people were killed on the streets, so which means there's a full-blown, I think, military crackdown. And before there were reports of warning shots were fired into the air, but as of now, I think troops started killing people.
Now, you have just said that you've heard that 10 people have fallen to the ground. The troops have started shooting again. Can you give us some indication about the size of the protests as well?
Well, the protest was peaceful until yesterday. The one curfew was imposed. Monks continued to come out to the streets to define the curfew orders. And troops were deploying since yesterday, and then shooting took place yesterday, but we don't know how many people were killed, how many monks were killed. At least between 3 to 7 were believed to be dead from the clash and from shootings yesterday. And today, in spite of the crackdown, in spite of the pre-dawn raids on the several monasteries in eastern part of Rangoon and people continue to, monks continue to come down to the streets and protest against the military. And now military, I presume that is to give order, shoot-to-kill order to the peaceful demonstrators.
Aung Zaw, we appreciate you bringing us up to date there. Aung Zaw, the editor of Irrawaddy magazine, reporting to us from across the border in Thailand from Burma, saying that once again he is hearing reports that the military have started shooting once again on protesters.